I think one of the keys to being a good PGA professional is that you kind of quickly learn that you become the face of the club. You become the outreach point of the club. You're interacting with your members and your guests on a daily basis, and you become a part of that, and you almost become a face of it. So when you do that, you have to be willing to take on that role and take on that responsibility, and you have to impart that on the people that you work with and the assistants that you have, and their willingness to take that on.
I think Bob's so deserving of this award, not only for what he did for the section during those challenging years through COVID, to keep golf doors open, to keep the section doors open, but I just think Bob's the consummate professional. I've had the privilege of watching Bob interact with his members at Hope Valley, how much appreciation they have for him, the regard they hold him in, and just to see him engage. I mean, the members light up when, Bob talks to them about their golf game or what they're doing or how their family is. And I really think too that Bob's a great family person, getting to travel with him, with Barb, Jack and McCall, seeing them down at the PGA Championship at Kiowa. I mean, their family's really close. They care about each other. They all care about golf, which is exciting. But I just think Bob's the consummate professional. He really emulates what a PGA professional should be, and he practices what he preaches. So I'm super proud of you, Bob. Congratulations on this great award.
Wow, Golf Professional of the Year. Congratulations, my friend. What a great honor. Extremely proud of you. Well deserving. Bob and I first met back in 1992, where he came and became an assistant golf professional for me and worked with me for 3 years. He was always eager to learn and wanted to progress and become a head professional, and that was our goal when he first came to work. I'm happy to say that being a successful golf professional is all about being a good person first, doing the right thing, and excelling and growing as an individual, and becoming a master in all areas of the golf business, to include teaching, playing golf, merchandising, running events, mentoring assistants. And Bob has obviously done a fantastic job over the years of doing all those things. And
my passions as a professional have really kind of changed and evolved as my career has. The one thing I'll say that is a standard though for all of them is that one of my passions is always trying to build relationships with my members. The golf business is so relationship based, and being in a private club setting, those relationships are what's really going to help to make it not feel as much like a job, but feel like it's a vocation, and you're able to change and affect the lives of your members. So that's really been my passion more than anything else. And with that then comes the drive and desire to try and provide them the best experience as a member that I can.
Good evening. My name is Bennett Waters, and it is my pleasure to join you in congratulating our friend Bob Byrnes on his selection as the Carolina PGA Pro of the Year for 2022. I've known Bob since he joined Hope Valley as our head pro in 2009, and over the last 13 years I've had the chance to work with Bob in a variety of different roles. Not only has Bob served as our head pro, and in that context he's unfortunately had to be my teaching pro from time to time, I've chaired 2 transitional task forces in which Bob served as our interim general manager, and for 2.5 years served as our club president during the pandemic and many of the challenges that followed. I've been amazed at Bob's contributions to our club over the years. Not only has he grown the game of golf at Hope Valley, he has truly enlarged the experience for all members. And heck, the guy's even had an impact on our cheeseburger. He's truly touched every aspect of our club, and he's made it better for his being part of our community. I think one of the things that makes Bob really unique in the services industry is that he finds a way to walk the line on a daily basis between providing a stellar member experience and holding everyone accountable to what's expected of us as members of a club and as participants in the game of golf. And that's consistently impressed me about Bob. Always level-headed, always even-keeled, always gets to the right answer. And like any good teaching pro, helps unlock in most of us what we may not know is actually there. I remember a time early in my presidency when I had been approached by a particularly troublesome member who was full of ideas and full of suggestions about what we could do to make Hope Valley better. Frustrated, I went to see Bob and ventilated that a bit. He pulled me in his office and he closed his door. He said, "Let me tell you a story I learned from one of my mentors." He said this mentor was a general manager who had a similar problem with a member who was full of ideas. And he listened intently one day while that member held court and railed on and on about his ideas. And at the end of that conversation, as Bob tells the story, the general manager got quiet and he said, "Sir, thank you very much for all this input. I'd like you to do me a favor. I'd like you to go home and I'd like you to write 2 letters. I'd like you to write one that details all of these observations and all of your suggestions about how to improve them. And then I'd like you to write your resignation letter from our club. And I promise you, as the story goes, I'll act on one of those 2 letters by the end of this week." Bob's message was pretty clear. Our club needed leadership. Our club needed suggestions and it needed input, but there was a line. And in the same way that Bob didn't tell me how to handle that situation, his lesson and his story became a big part of how I approached the next 2.5 years. And we did tell a couple of people to write 2 letters, and every once in a while we accepted the latter of those letters. But over the course of that time, and with Bob's leadership and Bob's steady hand, we got better as a club. And I think that's a hallmark of what Bob has done throughout his career.
I think what really distinguishes Bob is his time as president. If you can imagine him being elected in late February 2020, and then 3 short weeks after that, the world kind of came crashing down with the COVID pandemic. And Bob really didn't flinch. I mean, his leadership was unwavering. If you can imagine, we were talking daily on the phone. How are we going to get through the pandemic? How can we return to work? How can we return to having our events? And so it was a lot of long nights, long days, but Bob was really my security blanket. We leaned on each other. We talked things through. We talked illegal. Jokingly, I know he said, Barb would kiddingly say, you know, he'd get home from work and sit in his car in the garage for an additional 45 minutes, and Barb would say, "Hey, talking to Jeff again?" And that was kind of the nature of our relationship through COVID.
And I have to say that we're extremely proud of what you've accomplished, and your great work through the section has just proven that you're a leader and a good person. And so I'm so happy to be part of this ceremony this week, and congratulations, my friend. What a fantastic job. Well done.
Bob, I'm sorry I couldn't be with you, Barb, and your family to celebrate in person tonight, but I wanted to recognize this incredible accomplishment and congratulate you on being selected as the Carolinas PGA Pro of the Year. Not only have you made an incredible impact at Hope Valley, it's clear that your peers have recognized the impact that you have made in the game of golf across the Carolinas. And lastly, while we are lucky to call you our head pro at Hope Valley, I consider myself extremely lucky to call you a friend. Congratulations, richly deserved, very well earned.